Hello students, welcome to English class. Today we are going to discuss a new story and the title of our story is A Special Gift written by Louisa May Alcott. So before going to the lesson, let's familiarize with the author. Louisa May Alcott, she was an American novelist and best known as the author of the novel Little Women. And mainly her books focus on family and relationship. And this particular story is extracted from her novel Little Women. So that's all about the author. So let's discuss the story. So the story revolves around Marsh family, and in that family there are four sisters. They are Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy, and there is their mother, Mrs. March. So the main characters of the story are Mr. March. Mr. March is the father of March sisters, and Mrs. March. Then March sisters. Then Laurie. Laurie is their next door neighbor, and Mr. Brooke. Mr. Brooke is Laurie's tutor. So let's begin our chapter. So before that, the person they miss a lot is their father. The person they miss a lot is their father named Mr. Marsh. And Miss Marsh family face many difficulties, and their father was missing. Poverty brings many problems, sometimes illness. So it also talks about how they face all these difficulties, and they were helped by a few people. And the story has some beautiful touches about human relationships also. So this particular excerpt talk about a wonderful gift that they receive on cold Christmas day. So let's find out what the gift is. Little Women is a delightful story about the March sisters Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. In this excerpt, we read about how the March family find time for joy and thanksgiving despite their problems and celebrate a joyous Christmas. As Christmas neared, there was an air of excitement in the house, as if this was going to be an unusually happy Christmas for all of them. Joe and Laurie, their next door neighbor, ran about mysteriously and could be heard laughing beyond the head. So, let's know Laurie and Joe ran mysteriously. In the above paragraph, we could see Laurie and Joe ran about mysteriously. So on Christmas Day, March family receives a good news. What was the good news? Their father, Mr. March, had written a letter. When Christmas Day came at last, it brought good tidings of great joy. Mr. March had written that he would soon be with them, while Beth felt well enough to sit by the window, wrapped in the bright red shawl mother had gifted her. And in the garden stood a beautiful snow maiden that Joe and Laurie had made. So on Christmas Day, March family receives a good news. Their father, Mr. March, had written a letter saying that he would soon be with them. Also, Beth felt well enough to sit by the window. And then they gathered in the parlor to open their presents. So, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy and their mother gathered in the parlor to open up their presents. Now, look, what are the gifts they got? I think this is the best Christmas ever, said Jo, hugging the storybook she had always wanted and waited for a chance to read it in the attic. So, our Jo got storybook as gift. I think so too, added Amy, staring at the framed picture her mother had given her. So, we could understand that Amy got a framed picture her mother had gifted her. I agree, said Meg, smoothing down the soft folds of her first silk dress. Mr. Laurie's grandfather had gifted it to her. So, Meg got what? She got silk dress. So, Meg got a silk dress. Who gifted this to her? Mr. Lawrence. Laurie's grandfather had gifted it to her. And I do too, said mother, looking from Beth's smiling face to Mr. Marsh's letter in her hand. So the mother got one gift, that is a letter of Mr. Marsh. In that letter, there is a good news that Mr. Marsh would soon be with them. Oh, what a wonderful Christmas. If only father were here, my happiness would be complete, sighed Beth as Joe carried her off to the study to rest for a while after the morning excitement. So, after Joe had taken Beth to the study to rest for a while, and the rest of them had settled down for some quiet timing together. So Lori opened the parlor door, so one announcement came. So sometimes in this workaday world, things do happen as they do in storybooks, and what a comfort it is. For just as the March family had settled down for some quiet time together, Lorry opened the parlor door and popped his head in very quietly. His face was so full of excitement and his voice sounded so joyfully that everyone was startled, though he only said, "Here is another present for the March family." So Lori opened the parlor door and one announcement came. Who said that? Yes, Lori. Lori said that here is another present for the March family. And in came a tall man leaning on the arm of Mr. Brooke, Lori's tutor. Great excitement and confusion followed. So there came Mr. March leaning on the arm of Mr. Brooke. Mr. Brooke is Lori's tutor. Mr. March became invisible in the embrace of four pairs of loving arms. Joe almost fainted with joy and clung to Lori for support. Mr. Brooke kissed Meg in all the hugging and kissing, and Amy tripped over a stool and did not even bother to get up. She hugged her father's legs and wept for joy. So we can see the entrance of Mr. March here. So all these four sisters rushed forward and hugged their father. Mrs. March was the first to recover. She held up her hand with a warning, "Hush, remember, Beth." But it was too late. The door of the study flew open, and a pale girl in a red shawl flew straight into her father's arms. Joy had given strength to her wobbly legs. Mr. March settled down on the big chair. His heart was filled with happiness. So Mr. March was the first to recover, and remember Beth. So as she signaled everybody to be quiet, they disturbed Beth. The door of the study flew open, and Beth flew straight into her father's arm. When fine weather came, the doctor said I could go home. I longed to be with you for Christmas and told Brooke I would like to surprise you. I couldn't have been here if he hadn't seen to the travel arrangements, said Mr. March, happy to be with his family again. So Mr. March settled down and explained that when the doctor had said that he could go home, he longed to be with his family for Christmas, and he had told Mr. Brooke, who saw to his travel arrangements. What a great lunch they had after that. Hannah, their cook, had baked delicious pies and the plum pudding melted in the mouth. Mr. Lawrence, Lorry, and Mr. Brooke also joined them. So, after a delicious lunch prepared by Hannah, Hannah is their cook. Mr. Lawrence, Lori, and Mr. Brooke, who had joined the March family for lunch, they also joined with them. Lori had planned a sleigh ride in the afternoon, but the girls would not leave their father, so the guests left early and the family sat together around the fire. So, our Lori had planned a sleigh ride in the afternoon, but the girls was not ready to leave their father. So, the guests leave early and the family sat together around the fire. Just a year ago, we were groaning over a sad Christmas without father. Do you remember? Asked Joe. It's been quite a pleasant year on the whole, said Meg, smiling at the fire. I think we have had a bad year that's ended well, observed Amy. I am glad it's over and we have got you back, father, whispered Beth as she sat on her father's knee. So, they reminded about the year gone by, and all of them agreed that it had been a bad year that had ended well. We have been through a lot of trouble in the past year, my children, but you have done very well. You have been a great support to mother, and I want to thank you for it, said Mr. March, looking with a fatherly satisfaction at the four young faces gathered around him. Mrs. March had her heart full of joy and gratitude, did not feel the need to say anything at all. It's singing time now, said Beth as she went slowly towards her dear little piano, and I want to be in my usual place. I will try to sing one of father's favorite. And with that, she softly touched the keys and sang in the sweet voice they had thought they would never hear again. So, here, Mr. March appreciated his daughter's effort in supporting their mother, and he thanked them for it. And Mr. March, her heart full of joy and gratitude, she did not say anything. Then, after that, Beth decided to play the piano, and sing for everyone. So the rest of the family was thankful to hear her singing, as they had thought they would never hear again. So that's all about the story. So this is an extract from Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I think it is clear to you. That's all for today. Thank you.